Hello, welcome everybody. This is the PhD crew, and today we're talking tarot. So I've got with me the lovely Penny King and Daniel Neal to say hello to you, and then we're going to tell you what we're going to be doing today. So Penny, if you'd like to tell us a bit about yourself, why you've come interested in learning the tarot.
Hi everyone. So as you know, I'm Penny. Um, and I've always been interested in tarot and oracle cards and everything, and I use it a lot within healing. But I've never done a course and learnt the basics. It's all been intuition. So I thought, what better time than to learn with Hilary? So here we are.
Thank you, Penny. And Dan, how about you?
Hey, I'm Daniel, and yeah, very much like Penny. I think it's part of your teenage youth, isn't it? You're not a teenager unless you've had a deck of tarot cards and dabbled. So yeah, very much throughout my life, I've dabbled. I've been in, I've dabbled out, and yeah, now it's like actually, I think I ought to really see what this is about. So very much when I've used them in the past, I've just gone intuitively. Um, but now it's like, yeah, let's do the course with Hilary. Let's see what this is about.
Oh, and I'm very grateful to you both. It came as a bit of a surprise. I have been doing tarot cards for 30 plus years. It was my sort of start, I suppose, back onto my spiritual path after life had got in the way, and then I became friendly with a medium. And she used to come up and see us and bring her tarot cards up to us, and I get the girls round and a couple of bottles of wine, you know how it is. And then one day she said she had a question to ask and she wanted some advice, and she pushed her cards across the table to me and she said, "Will you do me a reading?" And I went, "No, I don't know what they mean." And she said, "Well, your grandfather says you do." And that was it. Oh, and she described my grandfather and she said, "He says you must do this." So, oh, okay. A couple of glasses of wine had helped. And so did her reading. And she went, "Thank you very much. That's really helped." And I have no idea what I said. Obviously, it was 30 odd years ago, but that really helped me start. And the first deck I had, I will just show you because it was the Celtic Tarot, and bought them for me. And you can see probably the deck is split into major cards and minor cards. Whoops, if I can get it lined up. You can see which ones are the major cards
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
used them and used them and used them. And it was probably a year later that I saw the medium again. And she said, "Are you using the minor arcana yet?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Well, you better shuffle them in and do me a reading." And I said,
Wow.
"Well, I haven't read up about them." She said, "You don't need to." She said, "Just get on with it." So that was it. I did. And then I never looked back. I loved them. I loved different decks. I loved talking about them, teaching them, and helping other people to understand them a bit better. So you can see the proportion. There's 78 cards in all. 22 of them are major arcana, which denote the major things in life, the major events, major influences and aspects of life. And then the suit cards that are like playing cards, the four suits and the court cards are the sort of day to day, they're the details that back up and fill in all those gaps. So when Penny and Dan said to me, "We think we'd like to learn the tarot," it was, "Oh, okay. Yes, we can do that." So this really is a bit of an introduction, a taster. I'm going to be showing you how I teach the tarot to see if it's a way that you might like to learn. Every teacher teaches in their own way, and every deck has its own interpretations. So what I've done is I've picked out just eight decks, and these are quite basic, so they have all the symbolism in. So they have the things to look for. If you're going out to think of buying a deck of cards and you think, "Well, I don't know where to start," there are so many. But they are great fun to work with. They tell a story of life, so they depict all aspects of life. And we're going to be just talking about the Major Arcana. So the first part of the course, which is 10 weeks, is just focused on the Major. So there will be lots of details, lots of note taking. You will get a manual, you will get the notes for it, so you won't get lost. But there is a lot to it. And when we look at that story of life from the innocent fool stepping out, it's an unnumbered card, and we're stepping out into life. You can almost take that as the baby, you know, coming back into life, incarnating here on earth, and then all the stages that you go through as you grow up. And there's 3 different stages through the story of the Major Arcana. One card's numbered 0, 1 through to 8, is where you're learning all the skills of life. That's your basic, that's when you're sort of emerging out into the world. Number 8 card is strength. So it's often the lion, or the lady who's tamed the lion. And this is the courage and the determination. Yeah, I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing in life. I'm sorted. I can tackle anything. You know, which often we get sort of late teens, early 20s. And you think, that's it, I know where I'm going. And then the card deck, there's 3 cards which we tend to feel are the middle stage of life. This is where you start to look at the bigger picture. You start to understand the world in its wider concept and the universe, and you gain some spiritual understanding. So there's just 3 cards in the middle where you start to gain that bigger picture. And then it moves on, and the rest of the cards are all what we tend to associate as being the final stage of life, but that doesn't mean end of life. It's just the sort of rounding off of everything, bringing everything together right through to the fall. So those last cards are where you gain your spiritual understanding, enlightenment, if you want to call it that. So that's like the story through the Major Arcana. But life isn't like that, is it? We start and end things all the time. You're starting this, Dan and Penny, but you probably started something else last week, and something else might finish next week, and so it goes on. We start and finish and swap about, and nothing goes in order. Nothing. Life doesn't happen in the sort of sequence we would like to think it will. So we've got to be prepared then to chop and change and swap about and decide, is this new beginning, of something major, or is it just a new project you're just working on for a while? So a lot of intuition does come into it. So because the pair of you have already worked intuitively, that's going to help hugely. Because a huge amount of this is trust. And, it's trusting yourself, what you pick up. It's trusting that what you get, what you feel, what comes into your mind, you say it. Because I always believe, and when we do start the course, there will be a guide coming to help you learn the tarot. I believe for everything we do in life, we have a guide or a guardian who will say, I'll come and work with you on that. I'll help you through that. So we'll be tuning into them and asking them for help. And I always say to people, if you're getting it right and delivering the right messages and the right interpretation of the cards, your guide or guardian will stand there and go, carry on. Yeah, you're doing fine. But they don't say anything. If you've missed something or you misinterpret something, it's like a slap on the back of the head and you think, oh, hang on a minute, I got that bit wrong. just rewind. So you will always know, if you've got it wrong, but if you've got it right, they'll just let it go, let the flow go, carry on. So your intuition is hugely important. Do trust it. We go through all the different meanings of the cards because they're your foundation. They're your basis. Eventually they become just like a focus for your conscious mind while you let your intuition work. But we all know what it's like working with our intuition. Occasionally we go, blank, panic. Then you've got your card with the symbolism, the meaning, the pictures, the information there that you think, oh yes, that's it, and then you're off again. So they're a really, really useful tool. The other thing I would say is everybody, every reader interprets them in their own way. So don't take it perhaps too literally, or don't take it as gospel. I know people who rely on tarot readings for every decision they make in their life. I tend to think that's not really such a good idea. They're guidance. They show the potential. They show the possibilities. They show the most likely outcome. But the choices and decisions are yours. So you can learn the tarot cards, but don't live by them, really, is what we want to say. Now this is there because there are so many, and I said I've picked out just some of the very ordinary decks, I suppose, and there are things that we do have to look for in them. So there are images in them like trees, growth, flowers, vegetables, anything that is of that nature, anything that is of the growth. Yeah, it's all about learning. So you look at your cards and you think, if there are fruit, if there are trees, if there are plants, how strong are they? How dominant are they? Because they are the things that grow in your life. So they're the learning, they're the things that are, you're blossoming, you're growing. So look for cards that have, some of them have that aspect in. Trees, you can see how far away they are. Sometimes you'll see in a card an image with an orchard in the distance, and you think, okay, you're going to be learning something, or you're going to be growing. But if they're in the foreground, the opportunities are all around you now. So look for those sort of images first if you're looking for a deck of cards. Mountains, peaks and hills. Again, how far away are they? Have you got big challenges coming up? Because, a hill, oh crikey, that to me is a huge challenge if I've got to climb something like that. And I will shove it in the distance. Don't want to face that now. But sometimes some of the images are amongst hills or up in the mountains. So look at the cards, look at the Major Arcana. How many cards of them have got mountains or hills in? Are some of them close to the foreground? Are some of them further away in the distance? What challenges do you have to face? Some of them, there's only one mountain depicted. So this is a big thing. This is a big thing you've got to face, a big challenge to get through. So have a look for those sort of images in the cards. Water, rivers, streams, lakes. Again, we always tend to associate those with the emotions. So is the water turbulent? Are you going whitewater rafting? Oh, hold on to your hats. Or is it just smooth and easy? Does the image depict, a boat with somebody else rowing? So you can just sit there and enjoy the journey. Have a look at where water is flowing in the cards and see, is there a river running with a stream running towards you? Or are your emotions being carried away? So those sort of images are very important to look for because we are emotional beings and we respond emotionally to them. So look for that in the cards. Pillars and columns always denote wisdom. They're knowledge, pillars of wisdom. The phrases we have, there's always pillars at universities and places of learning, temples, always had great columns outside to denote this is a place of structure and learning. So again, have a look at those and see, are they very plain? Are they carved and very intricate? Because you're learning, your knowledge, your wisdom is going to be depicted by those columns. You know, if it's plain, you're going to find that that's very easy to cope with. If they're very intricate, some of the cards have really intricate designs on. And you think, gosh, that's really detailed. I'm going to have to devote quite some time to this. So have a look at those. Lastly, some of the images on some of the cards, you'll see crowns. And whether somebody's wearing it or whether it's floating in the air above, that represents the ego. Now, the ego isn't always a bad thing. We need our ego. We need it. It's our self-preservation and our self-awareness. So is it something you wear happily, or is it something you would rather detach from yourself? What does it mean? But have a look and see if any of your cards have the figure or the person wearing a crown, because that will denote your self-worth, your ego. A lot of them have all sorts of different symbols in. You'll see some with the infinity symbol in, where you know it's going to be a long-term thing. This isn't just a quick fix. Sometimes you'll look at a card and you'll suddenly see a detail that you'd never noticed before. And trust me, that happens even after a very long time of reading the same pack of cards. The deck of cards I use is totally different to all these that I'm going to be showing you. But I've come to know them and love them, and I will still sometimes a symbol or a shape will suddenly jump out of the cards at me and suddenly make me feel that that's so important for that particular time. So before you even choose a deck of cards, do have a good look through. So we are going to be doing, as the PhD crew, a tarot card review and an oracle card review on future times, aren't we? So we're going to be looking at all these decks and showing you a lot more of them. I know you two have chosen a deck already. So, and look, it's not one of the 8 that I've got to show you. So Dan, which ones have you got there?
I have chosen the Wildwood Tarot. That's my choice for this course. It was gifted to me as a Christmas present from my husband. So one of the first tarot decks I've owned since being with him. So for me, it's English, it's Druid, it's nature of the English. So really, right up my street, I can really resonate with the cards and understand the meanings and see the forest, see what's out on my own doorstep. So I have that nice, what was I going to say?
Connection with them.
Connection, thank you.
You can tell we know each other so well, can't we? Filling each other's sentences. Yeah, they're very you. And I know you will eventually move on to working with the animal cards, because that's very you. But it's hard to learn from a deck of cards that doesn't have those sort of similar images in. So I said to Dan and to Penny, try and choose something where you've got those images. Otherwise, you're going to have to remember all of 78 cards. And that's no mean feat. If you can learn on a fairly simple deck, then you can adapt that to any deck of your choice in the future. So Penny, which ones have you got?
Okay, so I've chosen Zen Tarot, and this is one that I've had for many, many years, and I always pick a card a day, and the pictures really talk to me, and I might find it difficult, as you say, Hilary, some of them, because some of them are a bit out there. So we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, but you will. And which card did you pick today?
The card I picked today was the... When I picked this card, we hadn't even decided that we were recording this.
No, that's true. We only decided this morning.
Exactly. So it was very appropriate.
It absolutely is, because the Fool is the beginning. It's the unnumbered card. So we will be starting with that. As we go through, you'll see that some of the Major Arcana cards do relate to star signs. Some of them have an element linked to the star signs. Some of them have planets linked to the cards. So again, that's something that we will go through on the course. But it's like, well, the first one is Aries in our astrological calendar, and that's depicted by the Emperor. So it doesn't start, although they do follow in order, they're not in every single one. So 4, the Emperor, goes through to 9, which is Virgo, the Hermit, and then it breaks, and then there's other odd ones. So throughout the astrological calendar, you will find that there are links. So sometimes these cards can relate to the star sign as a person, the attribute of that, characteristics of that star sign, or as a time of year. Timing is really hard to determine because time is very fluid. Nothing happens as a timeline. It's not a straight line, it's a circle or a spiral. So when people ask for when will this happen? A star sign might depict a time of year, but it won't say which year. So it's, bear in mind that you can't really pin things down to a time with the tarot. The other thing they don't really cover is finance, except as that's linked to work. Work opportunities, business, job, career. Then you might get some information on whether, this is going to be sort of a prosperous time for you or not. A difficult time financially, or something where you've got the abundance coming in. But people do want to know when. They do want to know how much. Will I be rich? Will I meet the right person? So all these questions sometimes are very hard, and you really have to dig deep into the tarot to find some of those answers and rely on your intuition. So those star signs are handy. Also, some of the planetary influences, if you're into astrology, or if you like working with the planets or know the attributes of the planets, you can see that the one that is Jupiter is, about opportunities and challenges. So you can see where that comes in as well with the card. So Jupiter is, where are we? It's the Wheel of Fortune, so it's about luck. It's that sort of moving on, or moving in a different direction. So Jupiter, the influence of Jupiter on that is very much, it will stir things up. It will get things moving. So it's handy to know, but it's not essential to be able to give a good reading. But I do give the information out. It's for your information. You may gradually incorporate the star signs, the planetary influences, but you can't expect yourself to remember everything all at once. So when I start you off on learning tarot, I will give you just key words to remember. So the Fool is the easiest because it is a numbered card, so there's no expectations on it. It is the beginning. It is the Fool. It is where you step out into the unknown. So I'm going to talk you through the way that I teach these. Is I give you the key words, describe the card, and then I talk you into a little visualization where you feel it. And then I ask you to keep a journal or keep some notes where you will write down your personal experiences, your thoughts from the visualization, your experiences that you've already had. When have you felt like that? Who do you know like that? How do you relate to this card? Because when you're doing a reading for people, you're going to be drawing on your own thoughts, feelings and experiences, because it's vital to me. Every time you look at the card, you'll think, oh yes, that's so and so, or oh yes, I remember feeling like that. and that helps you make that connection for somebody who's come for a reading. You'll instantly remember just how you felt at that time. So if this is something that they're going through, you'll know how to describe it. You'll know how to relate to that. So there's a lot that we can do. So if you're happy to have a look, here are the cards that I have. Now this is the most basic pack, and this is called the Rider-Waite. It comes in lots of different versions. There's a radiant version, there's all sorts of different things, and these cards all denote somebody just about to step off a cliff edge. There's usually a dog or an animal at their heels, sort of yapping, because the person there is looking up at the sky, not looking where he's going at all, and just going, oh, it's a lovely day, I think I'll just take a leap of faith and jump off. The stick with his, little knotted handkerchief of all his goods, this is all his past experiences. So this is taking all your knowledge with you, and the dog is just going, oi, 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 watch out, watch out. So that's the Rider-Waite, and that's those. There's the universal Waite. There's all sorts of different decks. They're very easy, very basic, good to learn from, and a lot of people use those quite happily all the time. The next one I've got is, this is Sharman-Caselli. Oh, I can never get these lined up. Sharman-Caselli are nice. They're easy to see. They're quite clear. They're bright pink on the back, so they're always easy to recognise. And that's Sharman-Caselli. Similar image of the Fool about to step off. Little dog there going, oi, oi, where are you going? Where you going? What are you doing? But no, I'm looking at the sun. I've got a flower. I'm happy. Don't care in the world. Ready to take that, that jump, that leap. And then we've got, this is a deck by Greer. And these were just a little bit different. They're brightly coloured. There's no border on them. So this is the Fool. So we've got here again this, see if I can get it the right way round. This is where you've got that little handkerchief at the back. Again, he's got the rose. So this is saying, I'm going to be moving forward with thorns and flowers. I'm going to be, just experiencing life. The dog again going, watch out, but he's looking up. There's the sun shining there. Nice and bold colours, if that appeals to you more. So that's another deck that's good to use, and some people do love them. And then we've got the Mythic. And these are very much based on Greek myths, but all sorts of myths there. They're rather nice. They're still very easy to read. That's the Empress on the back. Look, you can see she's pregnant, so card of fertility. Look, the emotions flowing, the hormones. All the hills, all the challenges there in the background as she's pregnant and she's waiting for this new birth. So the Fool in the Mythic is this one, and he's ready to step off the cliff as well. Look, quite happy. Lots of hills there, but nothing higher than the one he's on. So this one, the challenge is there now, and once you get going, there'll just be the ups and downs of life. And the bird there watching over, saying, okay, I'll keep an eye on you. That's a bit of a guide. He's got no animal at his feet, so he's got the bird instead. So that's the Fool in the Mythic deck. And then we've got the Celtic deck. And the designs are all very much with the Celtic patterns around. He's actually leaping across what looks like water. But again, looking up, full of hope, going, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll get there. I'll get across this. It's only a stream. If he looks down, he might see that it's quite a torrent, quite a fast white water. So again, he's sort of taking that risk, taking that challenge and a leap of faith. So that's the Celtic, and they were my first ones. That's the Celtic deck, the Celtic Tarot. They were the ones where you could see I'd used the Major Arcana for absolutely months before I tried the minor. And then we've got the, I'll put those down. We've got the Druid deck. Now these are quite nice. These are very earthy. There's the Empress there on the front there, the Druid craft. And again, she's pregnant because she represents the mother figure. These are very earthy, so you've got some nudity in them, and they're big cards. So if you've only got tiny hands, they're perhaps not the ones that are going to be the easiest to shuffle. But the Fool, again, very standard image, just about to step off that cliff, looking upwards, the usual things. He's actually got mistletoe in his hand. Now mistletoe is the symbol of fertility, so this really shows he's stepping off into something new, you know, a fertile time, hopefully. But as I say, they are big cards, so they're very much, you know, if you can cope with that, if that's something you like to get a real feel for them. And then I've got two newer ones that I find really, really lovely. This is the Everyday Witch. Now this always has a cat in them because witches have cats. So these are really nice cards, much smaller, much more easy to handle. And this is the Fool in the Everyday Witch. So she's riding on a broomstick. Wahey! Just about to jump off there. I can fly. But she's got her arms in the air, so she's got absolutely no control over that broomstick. None whatsoever. I'm not quite sure if that was intentional to place it at quite that angle between her legs. It does look a little bit, well, if you're going to take a risk, then go for it, girl. But yeah, that is a little bit, you know, sort of wayward and a little bit free and saying, I don't care, I'm just going to jump and go for it. So that's the Everyday Witch. And finally, there's this lovely deck, the Light Seers Tarot. And I love this one. These are beautiful. These are much more modern, much more up to date. You've got the images, the people in them, male and female, look very now, very up to date. So the Fool in this, there's the Fool. She's leaning out over water again, with the pattern of the seed of life. So you've got this new beginning, the feel of the seed of life. What's she going to let go and jump in? I love the look. She's also got an amethyst crystal in her hand. Well, what could be wrong with that? That they are beautiful cards, and again they're quite nice and small. They're quite handy to have. So that's another deck. So they're all the decks that I've got. I will be getting more because I do love them. But are you ready to have a look at your Fool and see how you feel? So just have a look at the image. And then just, if you sit comfortably and close your eyes, and I just want you to imagine that you're standing at the edge of a rocky outcrop on top of a hill, with the sunshine warm at your back. You're looking out across open country, hills, valleys, a river and fields. There's a small village nestled in the valley beside the river, and you can see smoke rising from some of the chimneys. The faint sound of church bells drifts up to you on the breeze. You can feel the wind in your hair and on your face. It's fresh and invigorating, and you take a deep breath, drawing that fresh air into your lungs. You feel full of life, hope, and excitement for a new beginning. You carry a stick with a bundle tied at the end, a symbol of the lessons you've learned in previous lives. The knowledge is with you still. You look up to the clouds with childlike wonder and awe. Below you, shadows move across the valleys and hills, a beautiful landscape waiting for you to step into it. a land full of possibilities and potential. An animal at your feet either barks or nips at your ankles, warning you to look before you start your descent into the valley below, searching for your path, leading you to your new life. And whenever you're ready, just think about the times in your life when you felt like this, when you've headed off into the unknown, when you've decided to try something new, not sure where it would lead. How did it feel to take that first step and not look back? Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and just make a few notes of how that felt at that time in your life, what you experienced then. And while you're doing that, Dan and Penny, this is how I've structured all the Major Arcana. Some I've taken from the image on the card or something similar. A couple I found in books of visualisations. Some I made up myself, some just were given or came to mind. So there's that sort of structure to it. Every card we go through, you will get a little, just take a minute, just imagine this is you. Because then we go through what you can think about when you're making these notes. And this is week by week. We'll do 2 or 3 cards a week normally on the course. And then during the week, I ask you to think about, something that you're doing, something that you might start new that week and think, oh, that's the fall. Something that, that might come to you, or you might meet somebody, a real Peter Pan who doesn't want to grow up. It'll be fine. Sounds a bit like me. It'll be fine. And just keep those notes going, because you will get as many notes in your own experiences as I will give you. So I do give you some more notes to think about. In the physical sense of the fall, it's as an event or an action or a happening. It's something that actually happens in the physical world, like a new project, planning or starting something new, a risk, taking a chance. Oh, did you buy a lottery ticket this week? Now, is that the Wheel of Fortune? Is that a bit of luck turning in your favour, or are you being a fool? You can look at the tarot cards, apply to everything. It could be a new challenge, opportunities presenting themselves. Health, it's another thing that people do ask about health. So you could be starting a new health regime, a new diet, a new fitness program. Think of that, where will that lead? Your body beautiful. As a person, it can be someone with a lack of discipline or don't care attitude. I don't care, it'll be fine. Child, naive and innocent. We said it's like the baby taking its first steps. Can be somebody very trusting and easily led. It can be an adrenaline junkie. Yeah, I'm going to jump off that cliff. Yeah, why not? I can fly. Somebody who craves excitement. Can you identify somebody like that? Can you think of somebody like that? It can be emotional as behaviour, being impulsive, acting without thinking. It can be somebody vulnerable, open to abuse or being let down. We all know people like that. It can be somebody who makes mistakes, or it can be you making a mistake, not learning from a previous mistake, because the fall will come up, at any time, not just at the beginning of a thing. So think about, are you behaving like a fool? Are you giving your power away? Are you stepping into something that you have no idea, you haven't researched, you've just accepted it? So who or what does that remind you of? So then you look, when somebody comes for a reading, have they asked for a specific aspect of life? Have they asked you to look at, their relationship or their health or their work? So you look and you think, does it relate to something that they've specifically asked about? So you look at the cards before and after it, and you always ask your guides. If they just go, no, just tell me what comes up, then you ask your higher self, your guides, your intuition, show me what this means, show me what this is. You look to the cards before or after it. So, for example, with the Fool, if the Empress that we saw on a lot of the boxes of the cards, the Empress follows it, could be a new baby, it could be a new project, it could be a new start that's fertile, that's going to reap the rewards that you want. If the Magician follows it, it's learning. You're going on a new course. Well, you are, because we've already arranged it. So if the Lovers come up after it, it could be, now the Lovers doesn't always mean a relationship. The Lovers is a dilemma, a decision to make, or a commitment in a relationship. So the Fool followed by the Lovers might be, you're having to make a new commitment or facing a new challenge. Before the Chariot, it could indicate a new journey, a new direction. So you always look and see. So this is something we spend a lot of time on. We learn the major arcana first, one by one, in their order, and then we shuffle them about. And then we start seeing how they relate to each other. So that's why we will be spending 10 weeks of the course just on the major arcana. And then we have a break, and then we'll do the minor arcana through the autumn. So I hope you're both going to enjoy it, and I hope for all of you listening to us today are going to just have a few more ideas and see maybe if you'd like to learn the tarot cards, or if you just want to get these regular little insights that we're going to be giving out, because Dan and Penny have pushed me to do this, and it's fun. It's something I feel passionate about. It's something I love doing. I love the cards. I love all the different imagery, the different artists that come up with different ideas for each card. So you're going to find loads of different ones. I'm going to order the Wildwood. I think I've seen the Oshos then, so I'm not sure I'm drawn to them, Penny, but I like the Wildwood. That appeals. So you're going to have to let me know what other cards you like, what you find, and how we're going to work through this all together. So I think we decided, didn't we, we're going to pick out a couple of cards now and then.
Yeah.
And then just I'll do the similar sort of thing without all the intro blurb.
Absolutely.
And we'll continue doing it. Is that the plan?
That's the plan.
That is the plan. That is perfect. I am so looking forward to this. Really looking forward to this. And yes, if you want to know when we're going to pop up again for Hilary, do hit the subscribe. Do give the notification, just so you know when we're going to be carrying on with the next phase of this. And do follow the link if you wish to start the course of the tarot with Hilary Stanley. I'm really looking forward to this. I can't wait. Thank you so much, Hilary, for this.
Oh, it's lovely. It's June, I think. We're starting in June the 5th?
Yeah.
5th of June. So you've got about 3 weeks. I just thought it was good, wasn't it? How professional. You've got about just over 3 weeks if you do want to join, but we will be putting out another couple of cards before then, just to give you a bit more idea of of the sort of format and the sort of meaning of those cards. I will stick with those 8 decks because I think that's enough. So each time I'll show you whichever one comes out next time. I'll show you the different 8, but and we'll look at Dan's and Penny's and any others that we might have bought in the meantime, because once you start, you just don't want to stop. So Penny, do you think you're going to be okay with your shows then? Are they going to be meaningful?
I think I am going to be okay with them, but I do have another couple of sets which I will look at. Yeah, I say a couple. Though I think I've got more oracle cards than tarot cards.
I'm like that.
Yeah, but even that snippet that you've just done, Hilary, has made me think in a totally different way. Totally.
Oh, right.
So yeah, I've taken a lot just from that snippet. So I can't wait to see what you're going to get us to do on the horse.
Yeah, it is nice to really connect with your cards and to really work through and draw on your own experiences, because that's when the passion comes through. That's when people really think, this person knows what they're talking about because they've experienced it. It's not from a book. Yeah. It's not from just reading the little leaflet that comes in with most decks. It's from their heart, it's from themselves. And I think that makes such a big difference. So I have no doubt you'll be brilliant readers. I'm just, really looking forward to doing this with you two and with anybody else who wants to join the three of us.
Yeah, we will be putting the links on. So look down below, the links will be there. And also comment, if you're struggling with a card in your deck, comment. And, we might get Hilary and the three of us to come and see what we can get from that card.
Yeah.
Hilary's got 8 decks to look through. And we'll look through ours, and we'll go over that bridge if we need to.
Yes, do ask. If you're stuck, or if you want to know a little bit more about your own cards, then do. Eventually, once we've done all the major and the minor, we'll then be linking them to a deck that you might want to work with. So that might be totally different. Like Dan's animal cards. Just very, very different. But we'll be looking at different decks, ones that don't have all the simple imagery in as a reminder for you. So, I want people to read the decks that they like, that they resonate with. So, but that comes, start simple if you can.
Hilary knew when she asked us to be... There's nothing simple when it comes to Penny and myself, We go, because you chose your deck that spoke to you. I was gifted my deck. It speaks to me. But we're going to get it. We're going to crack it. I'm looking forward to this.
Yes. Yeah,
It'll be
lovely. Lovely. Thank you both so much, because, it's just a different thing for me to do, which I've taught here at home for donkey's years, but I've never adapted it to online. So you've pushed me out of my comfort zone. Cheers, guys.
Taking that leap, Hilary.
Yes, I have, haven't I? I've jumped off the edge and gone, it'll be fine.
Yeah, you just had 2 dogs at you.
Yeah, yes, come on, do it. Oh, it'll be lovely, guys. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it insightful. And we do have, this is our first video, guys.
Yay!
So, first of many more. Please do comment. Let us know what you want to see us do to cover and anything like that. Thank you all so much. And stay tuned for more from us three. From the D, it's a bye from me.
Go on, Penny, you're first. The P.
Okay, so the P, it's goodbye from me.
And from the H, from Hilary, it's goodbye for now. Thank you so much. Bye. Bye.
Bye.